Hi there, everyone. This is Sharon for another Self Care You Nugget. And so remember to like and share. Remember to turn on your notification and remember to subscribe because you never know when these self care nuggets will come on. Because you know why? Just like with life, we do not know what time something will unfold. And so. Let me make sure I can see myself. Oh my. Anyway, you may see me looking up. That's because I'm looking at my screen. So I like my screen better anyway. My monitor better anyway. Because right now on my computer it just looks so dark. Well, what is going on there? Anyway. And so today our topic is moving chaos. Let me ask you something, or let me say something before I ask you something. Life has a way of unfolding. Again, we never know what time something is going to happen, no matter how much planning that we do, but it's still important to plan. And so, in saying that, how much do you truly plan for your financial freedom? I'll wait. How much work do you put into your financial freedom? I know, right? Same here. It's kind of like I can think about it. Certain plans I may make, but do I really stick with it? And to have success in life is consistency and work. And when I say that, I'm saying that to myself because there are some things I'm really good at doing, and then there are some things I'm still working on, especially when it comes to being consistent. And sometimes we can be consistent with something, but I'm not into things that is going to, pretty much become fruitful. So, what seeds are you planting? And you're like, Sharon, what does all of this have to do with in moving in chaos? So, what this is like, we hear a lot about, the unfortunate passing of someone that we love. Some of you may have experienced it, even, among family members. And I am definitely on a mission now is to help as many people as I can. Death is inevitable. You know how we say change is inevitable? Death is too. No one knows when. And one thing I can say is that there are certain things that we can plan about it. Let's get out of this thing. I don't want nobody to feel bad or uncomfortable or things like that. Now, we can only plant the seed when it comes to certain people, but if anything, make sure you plant the seed within yourself. And the reason I say that is because, you know, we all know someone who's had a heart attack and they have either, transitioned, unfortunately, or they live. And some people can have a heart attack and have bypass surgery and they can be just fine. Pretty much they go back to living how they were. But then there are those who do not. Um, they would be considered to be disabled. What about someone who has a stroke? The same thing. Some people can die by the complication of a stroke. Some people can go about their life and live as if nothing has happened. But then what about those individuals who don't, who may end up having a disability because of the result of that? And what about someone who has traumatic brain injury? When we say traumatic brain injury, meaning that no one was born like that. And the reason that I'm bringing these things up because it can happen to anyone. It can happen to you. And so What do you have in place to protect yourself, to protect your family, and especially if you have a business? And I'm on a mission to help anyone, but definitely for those of you who are a mental health therapist, who are a counselor, who, what I really meant to say was a mental health professional. When I say that, that encompasses, whether you're a psychologist, a social worker, anyone working in the mental health field, even as an advocate or activist, anyone in the helping field, whether you're a life coach. Because one thing that I have noticed, it's like, oh my, because I even noticed it within myself. Here I am out here helping everyone out, but am I truly have things set up if something was to happen to me? And what really got me, especially when it comes to business, yeah, everybody knows about liability insurance, but what about other things that can protect the business, especially if something was to happen to me? And so that's the thing. And so how can you move in chaos? And what that means is that, just like I use all of those different examples of someone having a heart attack or someone having a stroke or someone getting an accident, these are not just other people. These happen to us in our everyday lives because no one is exempt. And so, in saying all of that, is saying that, do we have things in place for someone can just pick up? Because the thing is, we don't talk about these things. Yeah, we talk about it, with our spouse, for those of you who have a spouse or a partner, but what about for those of us who don't? So I'm like, oh yeah, I need to make sure that I have these things written out. I need to make sure that my family know that. And then now that I'm saying that, I'm like, oh, did I make sure of that? Because again, you can pick it up, but did I finish? But at the end of the day, what do you have in place? For those of you who are therapists, or I was going to say in the medical field, like, oh, did you have your annual checkup? So when was the last time did you have an annual checkup for a self-care assessment to make sure, or to look at to say, hey, I know I need to do these things. I need help. I need to know what I need to do. I don't know what I need to do. I just know I need to do something. Definitely check me out, connect with me, go to bit.ly, connect with Sharon D. Brown, so that you can either get a complimentary discovery call, or you can go ahead and sign up for one of the assessments, either the individual assessment or a group assessment, group consultation and coaching. And the other thing is, what about a financial assessment? When was the last time you had that done? I was one to even think, oh, I'll get it done where I make more money. No, it starts where you are. It's about educating yourself. Here we are talking about we want to be millionaires, and we're not even reading a book about a millionaire. It's not even about becoming a millionaire. It's like what to do with the money when you are a millionaire. So again, you may have heard me talk about, it's not enough to have a mindset of a millionaire. But I'll put it like this, having a mindset, having a money mindset is not enough. It's enough to have the mindset of a millionaire, meaning what are you going to do with that money? How are you going to make that money grow? How are you going to protect that money? And it starts where we are. You can do it. I mean, let's look at, what is his name? Oh, ah, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of his name. He has a little hippie name too. I call it hippie name, hippie name too. I can't think of his name, but there's so many individuals who have become a millionaire, and but one thing I will tell you, we need to look at their backstory, meaning how did they become not where they are now, the steps that they took. That's what we need to look at. So these are some of the things that we need to do. It's like, but what does that have to do with moving in chaos? It has everything to do with moving in chaos, because we have a bad habit, including me, when it comes to certain things. I've gotten better in that when things get rough or there's an interruption disruption in life and if something important come up, we're like, oh, let me think about it. Let me get back with you. No, one thing I'm learning in business is that there are certain decisions you just got to make now. And there's really not a wrong decision because just like in life, period, however things unfold, it unfolds. Sometimes a decision in a decision, whether it's personal or business, and remember, when it's business, it is personal because you can't separate any of it in that no one has control over how something is going to unfold. No one has control over how something is going to come out. It doesn't mean it's a bad decision. Sometimes it could mean that, oh, okay, well, let me go over here. But sometimes it may mean you just may need to make a tweak. So, yes, I'll put it like this, with most decisions, you are not always locked in that decision. So just remember that. But one thing I can say is that in some decisions, if you do not make a move in that decision, you may have lost an opportunity. Now, there are some things that we have seen where people, when they hold off, there's a bigger opportunity out there, and those are things that we need to consider. But there are so many different things, so many things that we can be missing out by not making a decision now. Go ahead and look over, and this is where again self-care. Oh man, whew, this is where self-care helps you. Take a pause, even if you need to go to the bathroom. Sometimes you may not be able to do that. Say, just give me one moment, make a decision, and go with it. You know, because sometimes I would say if you're getting any back talk about certain things, it's because someone doesn't understand where you are and where you're going. Because in the business world, believe me, it is completely different. It's about making a decision, standing on it, and doing the work, execute, implement to make it come, to make it be the way that it is. And so, how you move in chaos, you take that breath, you stand up in who you are and make a decision, because the thing that you don't do may be the thing where you're paying the biggest price. I'm going to leave it right there. And so, again, thank you for joining me for this Self Care You Nugget. And also, I want to remind you of the focus workshop as well, because this is going to help you move in chaos as well, because you're not able to focus to be able to take that deep breath, then you continue to run around in circle. And so make sure that you join me for focus, because this is going to help you move in chaos. And remember, these workshops are available for the month of May live. After that, you will be able to get it on the course. But one thing I can say from personal experience is that I really like things live. I like it, and I like it live, and I like the ability to be able to review it as well. But if I can catch it live firsthand, they are more, I just get more out of it, and so will you. And so to move in chaos, meaning to make the decisions that you need to make right now, and stop avoiding and making decisions or moving forward. So again, thank you for joining me for this Self Care You Nugget.